Hey everybody, Happy New Year's. It's 2024 and I hope everybody was able to enjoy their holidays. This year is looking really good for us gamers, especially for us Nintendo Switch users. There's a lot of great games coming out this year like the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, as well as a new Princess Peach game, which I'm excited for all these games. Also, there was some news or a tweet from the Nintendo store in New York that they're going to be renovating a wall at the Nintendo store, potentially or implying, or a lot of people assuming that maybe they're going to be showcasing some new stuff from Nintendo. Potentially, we might get a new system this year, which I'm pretty excited for. I love Nintendo, so if we do get an announcement this year of a new Nintendo console or a predecessor to the Nintendo Switch, I'm here for it. If you're new to the channel, hello, my name is Norman, and I go by Chill Collects here on YouTube. I mainly focus on collecting for the Nintendo Switch, as you can see in the back. I mostly collect for the Switch. I do some pickup videos, so talk about maybe some news, whatever I feel like talking about Nintendo-wise. If you're into that kind of stuff, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. Leave a like, and I appreciate it. Like I said, this year is looking pretty good for us Nintendo Switch users. We're getting a lot of great games that were announced last year, this year, but it got me thinking about last year, how we also had a pretty good year for Nintendo Switch. We got a lot of great titles that came out last year, and it made me think about all the games that I bought last year that were released last year. It prompted me to make this list of my top 5 Nintendo Switch games that I played last year that were released last year. This is just a list that I wanted to make of my top 5 games that I played last year, again, that were released in the year of 2023, and just wanted to share with you guys my top 5 games. There's no order to these games. These are just games that I played the most, put in enough time to decide whether if I enjoyed these games or not. And yeah, let's get started. I know I said that there's no order, but I did want to start off with some of the games that are pretty well known or the more notable titles. First game on my list is none other than The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This was such a good game. I'm sure a lot of us bought this game on release. It was probably one of the most anticipated games of 2023 for almost maybe every Nintendo Switch user. Nintendo really outdid themselves with this one. I didn't know how Nintendo was going to do it, how they were going to expand the world of Hyrule, coming from Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was already such a big game that I didn't think it was possible. Like, what else could they add to it? And of course, you know, they did the whole Sky Islands and the depths that expanded the world even more. Now, they did implement some new mechanics into the game, but it still retains some of its old mechanics from Breath of the Wild, so it still feels familiar while also feeling new. There's so much to do, so much to explore that sometimes it kind of feels overwhelming. To me, Breath of the Wild was not too overwhelming, but coming from Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom, it definitely feels like there's so much more to do. It's not just, you know, go to dungeon and dungeon. There's a lot of stuff you can do in this game. If you don't already have this game, I would highly recommend this game to anybody who has a Nintendo Switch. This is a definite game for your collection. The next game on my list is Super Mario RPG. Personally, I've never played the original on the Super Nintendo, but playing this game now, I could definitely see why a lot of people, or why this game is so praised by so many. It is a very charming game. It's a simple turn-based RPG. You know, Mario doesn't talk, but in this game, the way he communicates is he's very expressive, and it's pretty hilarious. You know, the running joke in the game is like, no way this is a real Mario. You have to like prove it that you're the real Mario. You're the Mario. And then you have to press the A button to jump. I just always thought that was very funny, very charming, that you have to prove yourself that you're Mario, and the way they believe you is by jumping, you know, because you're Jumpman. So I always thought that was very fun. The game is not that difficult. I know some people say it's pretty difficult. I played it on normal mode. It was one of the very few games that I've beaten. I don't beat that many games. I'm a very busy person. I just don't have that kind of time anymore. But this game is not that long. I think I beat it within 17 hours. I definitely got my fill. I haven't done the new game plus, like the boss fights, the secret boss fight, you know, the one where he's locked behind the chain lock gate or whatever. I might come back to it soon, but I did beat the game. I definitely enjoyed it. Although I do want to talk about the price tag. The $60 price tag, I don't agree with it. I believe that it should have released at the same price point that Metroid Prime Remastered released. You know, for these remakes, I I think that Metroid Prime Remastered was sold pretty well. I think because of the price point. I also think it sold very well because I believe that not a lot of people played the original Metroid Prime on the GameCube, and then bringing it back as a remastered just brought in a whole bunch of more fans to the Metroid Prime series. And again, it was a remaster, so the $40 price point was perfect for that game. So I believe that at least maximum the Super Mario RPG should have released at $50. If you're willing to spend that money, definitely pick it up. If you find it for cheap, it's definitely worth it. And this game, I know it's going to be a classic on the Nintendo Switch. The next game on my list is Gal Guardian's Demon Purge. Now, I know this game was released before 2023. It had a digital release, but I collect physical, so this game physically released last year in 2023, and that's when I finally picked it up and played it. This game is a 2D side-scrolling platformer, plays very similar to Castlevania. If you played Castlevania, Gunvolt, Mega Man, Metroid, then this game is definitely up your alley. I don't know if maybe I had the difficulty set to easy or something. I don't think I did, but this game is pretty easy. Plus, it's a great couch co-op game. They have the system where if one player dies and the other person has the chance to revive them. Also, I think this game is kind of like an underrated game that not a lot of people talk about. So if you see this game, if you like Castlevania games, then this is a definite pickup that I will recommend to anybody, any Nintendo Switch user. It's not just on the Switch. I believe it's also on PS4 and PS5, and I believe PC. The next game on my list is Master Detective Archives Rain Code. This is a game by Spike Chunsoft, the team behind the Danganronpa games. If you played those games or seen the anime, the Danganronpa anime, then this is a very similar game to that, except this is a 3D game where you actually get to move around. It's a detective game, so if you like detective games, mystery solving, as well as a little bit of action in there, which surprised me. I didn't expect it to have some kind of action, but it does. And it blends very well with the mystery solving. If you like games like that, then this is another game that I would highly recommend to Switch users. I believe right now the game is only exclusive to the Switch, but who knows, maybe down the line they'll release it to other platforms. But for now, this is only a Switch exclusive, at least from what I know. Now, last but definitely not least, last game on my list is Star Ocean: The Second Story R. This is a remake from the original Star Ocean game. I don't know what game or what platform the original one released. This is the first game that I played, the first Star Ocean game that I am playing, and so far I am loving it. I've never played a Star Ocean game, and this is my first entry into the series. The game visually looks beautiful. Now, what really got me was the art style that they took. They took the 2D HD art style that kind of got recently pretty popular in the last couple years. They started doing a bunch of games in the 2D HD art style. Another game that I've beaten, one of the very few that I've beaten, that I really enjoyed was Live Alive. What really got me into that game was the art style that they took, the 2D HD art style. So it is very reminiscent of the old school RPG games, but it feels very new. And that's what this game did to me. The art style of the game really attracted me. And it wasn't just the art style. Like, yeah, the first thing that attracted me was the art style, but the gameplay of the game, it's just so good. I personally like the combat system of the game. The way it plays very similar. If you've played the Final Fantasy VII remake, it plays very similar to that, where when you engage enemies, you and your party, you can switch between your party members mid-fight. While you're doing a 3-hit combo, you can switch into your other party member. It does that little slow-mo thing where you can throw a spell, or you can heal your team, whatever you decide. So it gives you a lot of movement. This game has a lot of movement in combat, so you can parry. The only game that I can think of right now that has that I can compare it to as far as the combat goes. Very engaging a combat system that I very much enjoy. You also have to consistently upgrade your characters, their skills, their weapons, their equipment, because it will affect down the line when you're going and playing through the game. It actually pretty quickly, when you're playing and going through dungeons or through encountering other enemies in different areas, the equipment and the weapons really matter. And it's not just oh no, maybe like in a couple hours I'll probably finally upgrade. No, you have to kind of consistently upgrade your characters. keep tabs and see out what's best for your characters to encounter these enemies. I've probably died I've died a lot of times in this game, and I was like, wow, like this is really, I have to really pay attention. I know it's not just on the Switch, but I played it on the Switch, but it's also on other platforms. It's on the PlayStation and PC. So even if you don't have a Switch, if you have a PS4 or you're on PC, I would highly recommend this game. I don't believe you need to play any of the other Star Ocean games to kind of understand what's going on, but this is definitely going to make me want to check out other Star Ocean games, and it's a great game overall. And those were my top 5 Nintendo Switch games that I played last year in 2023 that were released in 2023. Were any of these your favorite Switch games that were released last year? Now let me know what was your favorite Nintendo Switch release from 2023 in the comments. If you love the Nintendo Switch, if you like collecting for it, if you collect for the Switch, then please feel free to subscribe to the channel. I mainly focus on collecting for the Nintendo Switch. Leave a like, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace.